So it's the end of the year, budget time in the federal government. You'll hear a lot of phrases, CR, omnibus appropriations. You want to know the difference? Here's the federal budget. It's about $4 trillion in size. But there's two distinct areas. One is called discretionary. That's about a third of the budget. It's what I call day-to-day operations. A big part of it is our national defense, which is my #1 constitutional responsibility, to fully fund our defense and the men and women who serve and sacrifice for our nation. The other part is the daily operations. It would be border security, transportation, education, energy type issues. So at the end of the year, when you hear all about these budget fights, it's only about this 1/3 of the budget. The other part, they call it mandatory. I'd call it automatic spending. That is 2/3 of the federal budget and continuing to grow. It includes Social Security, Medicare and Medicaid, food stamps, interest on the debt. And this isn't appropriated by Congress each year. It's driven by formulas. And so that isn't part of this fight each year. And that's why our fight to defund Planned Parenthood and to repeal Obamacare isn't anywhere in these votes, including the omnibus or the CR each year. I'm proud, Chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, to have helped write the only law that ever made it to the President's desk that fully defunds Planned Parenthood and fully repeals Obamacare. And as you know, the President vetoed it. We didn't have the votes to override it, but we're going to continue that fight. So in this budget fight, there's a couple ways to go at it each year. One's called a CR. That means continuing resolution. All it means is the funding stays exactly the way it is, as it is right now. It just continues, maybe for 3 months, 6 months, sometimes longer. I don't like them because what you're doing is funding last year's priorities. So national defense, in my view, gets hurt with what they call a CR because it has a new threat in terrorism. It has planes and ships and weapons and technology that expire, become obsolete. You've got to give our men and women the readiness, the training, equipment they need. The other approach is called omnibus. And what that means is, the way we ought to do this each year, there are 12 separate spending bills, all like over military, another over education. The House passes them out each year. The Senate passes usually 0. At the end of the year, they put them all together in one big bill. I hate those big bills. I think we ought to do them in small, bite-sized chunks. But that's what they call an omnibus. The only advantage of that is it retains Congress's power of the purse. And we've used the omnibus in this part of the budget to shrink EPA's workforce back to 1989 levels, shrink the IRS funding back to 2000 levels. In fact, we've shrunk this whole area back to 2008, before President Obama took office. That's not enough, by the way. We have to do more. So this is the budget, and you'll know the difference, because when you read or hear about Congress is considering that massive $1 trillion budget, that's this, because that's only $1 trillion of the $4 trillion that go into this budget. So if you've got questions about CR, omnibus, the budget, our fight to defund Planned Parenthood and repeal Obamacare, come to my website, come to our Facebook, call our toll-free number. You know, our team, our staff that works for you is standing by. We'd love to answer those questions.